Good.
That's good.
That's good, right there.
Welcome to our Wednesday Live. Today we have our special guest and the winner of the Theurgy scholarship for trademarking. So we will have everybody on here shortly. Everybody bear with us. Do me a favor, like and share the page, and see who you can invite in to join us today. We would love to have you guys to join us. So again, this is the time for you to reach out to your homies and have them join and listen in on this good information that you guys are getting ready to get. We're gonna drop a few nuggets for you today. So again,
Hey y'all. So
hey,
we have a different arrangement. So actually we have 4 devices now.
oh,
Because we're trying to make sure that all the platforms are taken care of. And
sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome to Theurgy. Today, so Tamika made an announcement, and maybe you all didn't hear it, but today we have the recipient of our trademark scholarship, Miss Chase Sloan. She's actually on our Theurgy Instagram page. So if you want to, I don't know how we're going to get her on these. So we're going to have everyone just go ahead and go over to our Theurgy Instagram page because it's going to make more sense so you can see her, you can see the conversation, and that way you won't see just us and it seems like we're just talking. So if you're on Facebook, go to our Facebook Theurgy page. It's Theurgy Logistics. Instagram, it's Theurgy Logistics. YouTube is Theurgy Logistics. So you can see the conversation with Miss Sloan of the Chasing Group. And this is going to be the best way. Again, Theurgy Logistics on all platforms. You don't want to miss this conversation. She is amazing at what she does. So we're going over to the platforms. Okay. I invited her on Instagram.
All right, guys. So we're going to be joining in as soon as we get
the StreamYard
with
I'm
us.
inviting her on Instagram. Everybody.
You want to invite her with us? Okay. All right.
Chase, we're waiting on you on Instagram.
I'm here.
All right. I can't see them.
She invited us to go live. Oh, she has to invite Tamika to go live on Instagram, but she invited Theurgy. So she has to invite Tamika.
Okay. I'll invite Derek. 1 second.
But she has to go live on our platform too.
She'll have to do Theurgy.
So she has to invite Theurgy page. So Chase, invite Theurgy's page, please. Sorry, y'all. We thought we had this figured out. Okay. Well, I'm inviting her.
She's about to now. There we go.
Did she get it?
And
Come on.
Invite. Okay. Come on, Chase. Let's get her done.
all right. Thank y'all for your patience.
There she is.
Check.
Yay.
And look at you. You look amazing.
Thank you, guys.
Good to
Right here.
see you.
So, oh. Okay. Better? Yes. Okay. So, Chase, congratulations on winning the scholarship for the trademark. How has your journey been? How's your journey been so far?
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about just the opportunity to apply. I was watching your live with the Stokes Law Group, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, I'm on that. I'm about to. Application. It was really good though, because just listening to that live and seeing the importance, which I shared when I applied, is that you just don't know what you don't know. And being able to win the award and even applying for the award, it just opened up our eyes in just regards to just how we weren't as protected as we thought we were, and always being able to grow as a businesswoman and making sure that we're not just going through the motions, yet actually establishing a legit, solid, sustainable, profitable business. So I'm super excited. I'm super grateful. So thank you guys so much. And thank you to the Stokes Law Group as well.
You're very welcome. We're happy to have given it to you.
So how has it been like? I don't want to tell everybody because that's something they need to participate in, but how's it been just the beginning of the process? How much has it enlightened you to where how much a trademark is needed?
Well, I think like the prep, like it's always the prep. The actual, what I'm learning in life is that it's never the event, right? It's always the prep. Like the play is, that's just having fun, but it's all the work up front. So right now what we're doing is getting all of the information, all of the website information, really telling her about who we are so she can let us know what we need to do. Because of course, you know, the Chasing Real Estate Group, we go by T. Craig. There's just a lot to it. And like I tell my team, we don't know what we don't know. So I'm not here to steer this ship. I'm just here to, is what we got. What's next? And so really excited about that. So we're right now in the intake process, like I said. And it's awareness for us too. Like, you know, what is on our website? What do we have? What intellectual property have we already started creating? And so that way she can then figure out what's the best strategy to use. So
tell us about, I'm sorry, did you say something? Tell us about the Chasing Group. So let's kind of back up a little bit.
Okay.
So tell us about the Chasing Group.
So the Chasing Real Estate Group, we launched in 2010. So I always share the story that I had
Sorry guys, my dog wants to kill the delivery lady.
Oh, okay. I told Legend to take a nap, so we're gonna make sure that
You take a nap too.
So the way we got started in 2010, I always share the stories because a lot of times I think we think things that happen big start big, and that's not how we started. I was bartending at the House of Blues. I got a bad section. I was over it. I got a piece of paper out the back. I wrote a 2 weeks notice and I quit. And I was taking real estate license classes. I was already doing that. I got my real estate license at 27. So I was coming out of college, go Cougs. So I was in that space where I had multiple jobs, you know, working in the mall, bartending, just wherever I could get the best money. And this was when $1 Million Listing and all of those shows first started out. So I had a real good friend. She was like, you sell t-shirts, you can sell houses. And I was like, you're right, I can. So I started taking my real estate classes. And I'm taking my classes, and like I said, I got a bad section. I was already kind of like on that fence of like, I'm tired of this job. And I just got a bad section. I wrote the letter, I quit. Next day I got home and I'm like, I can't believe I just quit my job. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? So I went back and I was like, hey, about that letter.
Right.
My bad. Speak your mind, but the manager was like, no, we're going to go ahead and honor your 2 weeks. I was like, whatever. So
oh, wow. Okay.
really one of those things, like I had no choice. I had already quit the job. I went with I was finishing up my classes. So it was just kind of like, here we are, fear or faith, you choose. I joined, I got my license. I went ahead and took the test, passed the test. I went with a smaller brokerage first because I kind of felt like, I don't want to be around a lot of people. Because again, I'm basing everything I know off $1 million real estate show. So I'm watching all the drama that they have on their show. And I'm like, I don't want no parts of that. I'm going to go to a small boutique brokerage and it's just going to be me and my mentor. And we're just going to do that. And I learned early on that the type of business that I wanted to do and where I live. So I live in Houston, Texas, in Pearland. It's like 20 miles south of downtown. I was like, type people I want to work with, they got money, they can sue. I need to make sure that I am in an environment that is to do this job well. Like I knew I had really big goals really soon. So where I was didn't really match up to where I saw myself. I was like, oh Lord, because real estate's big. It's residential, it's commercial, it's luxury, it's land, it's industrial, it's farm, it's big. So getting in the right place to make sure that I was in an environment that supported my goals was important. So that's when I aligned with the current brokerage that I'm at now. And since then, since 2010, we have grown from just a, real estate agent helping my family and my friends to, a team now that, we have relationships across the country, across the globe, and continue. That's kind of the long short of T. Craig and how we got started. And we're still here 11 years later. So it's okay if y'all quit your job. I'm just going to say, you don't always have to have a business plan. Sometimes it's just about getting around the right people, which I'm really grateful for.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So that's because so just so you know that we have been like extremely busy, so I'll probably have a little bit more energy.
Yeah.
Because I got off 2 hours before Tamika because I was like, one of us got to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
I walked the door right before this live.
yeah. So just so you all know, when we transitioned from Atlanta to Houston, we did a prayer about it. And when we did a prayer about it, we were like, Tamika said, is Houston off the table? And I was like, no, because we had come to Houston 4 years before that.
No, it was a couple years.
Oh, and we loved it.
Yeah.
So then I knew someone here, a mutual friend of Chase, and I was like, well, do you know real estate? And it's just like, yeah, Chase. So I think we called her like immediately.
Yeah, we did.
And she called us back. And just so you know, Chase did not get the scholarship because she was someone that we knew. We literally had an unbiased third party. We looked at them, but the unbiased third party person chose Chase, not us. So we did not want to be we have an echo, Jay. We did not want to be those people. Yeah. So that is, I'm checking the echo to make sure we're all the way down the line.
And I took my audience to hopefully fix that echo.
So that's that case. But Tamika and I are not the easiest clients either.
Yeah, we can be pretty picky with things, We just know what we want and we want what we want. That's kind of the thing about real estate. You deal with so many different personalities. So,
but it's interesting that you say that because I think you were probably one of our smoothest clients. And let me see, does that work? Hello? No. Echo. I think what I learned, I believe I learned from every client. Every partnership, every relationship is an opportunity to grow in business, the way I do business. Are we good?
Yeah.
And I remember telling my team, like, you guys came down And we have a saying in our team. We say you can have reasons or excuses, and you can't have both. So you guys moved to Houston in the pandemic, and keep in mind, this is everybody was like, it's not a good time to buy. You can't get a house. Homes are flying off the shelf. Everybody should be still, and it was paralyzing people almost with fear. And I remember you reached out, or however we got connected, and you were like, "We're going to be in town on the weekend to go look at homes." And I'm like, okay, sure. We met at a coffee spot, and I'm like, well, here's what we've got selected. And it was either that day or the next day we found the house. I think what we found,
That was the
whatever.
first. That was the first house.
It was that first night, because, and this is why I say, and it's just been such a great lesson just from you guys, even learning just the right clients will respond. You don't have to. I didn't have to do anything, right? It's not my house. Y'all need a house. I already have a house in Houston. And so the right people respond. So we get down here, we go to get coffee, we go look at our homes, and that day we find a house. We write it off. We're like, cool. Now keep in mind, there are people that live here in the city, and they've been going on and on for months and 3 months and 6 months and 1 year about what they can't find. Mm-hmm. And here you guys come down on a weekend, and then you go get, I don't know, to a restaurant, you're done. You're back in Atlanta. And that right there was an insight. And then, you know, as with always, things come up in a real estate transaction. And I remember when you were like, told you what happened. I think it was Tamika, and she was like, we're on our way. We're on our way. What you mean? Y'all had already gone back to Atlanta by this point. And you're like, we're on our way, because your urgency was there. And that was the biggest lesson about finding qualified, able, and motivated client. Because
we were already in our minds, and we
drove back. Go ahead.
I said we had made up our mind and we were ready. Yeah. And it was like, we got to get this house. And I believe, you know, the urgency of it was the fact that we had sold our home in Atlanta. And we were going to be on the streets if we had not found a house here in Texas.
Living in a cardboard box.
Yeah, somebody bought our house in the first couple of days, it being on the market. So we had to go. But Chase, we have a couple of questions for you.
Okay. I love it. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question to you is, I hear that they're getting ready to announce a recession. So what is it that you recommend for home buyers, or what do you recommend, period, to people about real estate right now with the United States and the government getting ready to announce a recession? Is it a good time to buy? Should you wait to buy? What does it look like for you in real estate?
I love that question, because it is a question I get a lot. And first, let me say this. The biggest exchange of wealth happened during a recession or a depression. That's just wealth, right? Because most people are scared, so they don't take the risk that they should or could. It's always the right time to buy the right house. So the number one thing that I always say is that a house isn't a short-term thing, right? You're not buying sneakers. Generally, you're having to prepare for this. So for home buyers that are on the fence right now on whether or not you should buy a home, number one, look at personal expenses. I say that home buying is accounting it's accounting the cost, right? You got to make sure that your personal expenses are right. You've got to make sure taxes are right. You've got to make sure that you've got your assets, your savings, all of those things right. So if you haven't really started looking at those 3 things, then no, it may not be the best time for you to buy a home, because you have to prepare for it. However, if you're doing all of the right things and you are qualified and you're in a position to buy, don't allow buying a home. Ownership is cost control. If you want to, it's scary in a recession, not knowing what's going to happen to where you live. Housing is all about safety, security, and stability, right? Sure. People think the housing market is volatile. The rental market is volatile. You
Yes.
still buy a home. You may not own it, maybe somebody else owns it, but you still have to live, and therefore you're still buying the home. With
Yeah.
real estate being a long-term thing, understand you're not, unless you're flipping it, you're not holding on for it for 90 days. So it's okay. Since cavemen have been caved, real estate has proven to be a steady vehicle to build wealth. So
Okay.
to answer the question, will recession hurt real estate? No. I think if anything, what will happen is we'll start to see more inventory come on the market, which will be great for buyers. You'll have more options. We're seeing it now in Houston, that pandemic craze where the houses were going under contract in an hour. It's not that anymore. So if that was something that kept you off the fence because you didn't want to make a rush decision, you didn't want to have to overpay, you didn't want to have to waive the protections. Now you have a little bit of that breathing room. And oh, by the way, it's still going to have you plant your roots in the ground so that way you can start building wealth. That is what this is about. So you got to think about if we're in a recession, what are you going to do strategically so that way you can come out ahead? You got to do something. You do real estate, stock is just as volatile, right? You can put it in your mattress, that doesn't grow. You can leave it in a savings account, that does not grow. You're like 18 cents then, so I think it's just about being strategic, not fearful, and just having educated conversations with people that actually do real estate every day. This is not the same market that, your cousin purchased in 15 years ago. You just talk to someone that's local that does this and give you personalized information.
So do you think that, because everyone seems to be waiting for the prices to go down.
Yeah.
Do you think
they've
they're
been
going to go
waiting
down?
for prices to go down since 2010 when I got my real estate license. Every year people tell me that it's too high. And every year the market increases. But it's not going back. And it's not, and if it does, and this is what I say, and I don't want to get too techie yet. I really love what I do and I really study what I do. And if you really look out of the expansive, real estate is where we would have been if we never would have had the crash in 2000. And you can look at that in charts, that's data, that's empirical data. The crash in 2008, it suppressed real estate prices, and that's what people think of, but we're not there anymore. Am I still here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're
here. If the crash would have never happened, real estate would have, on the trend line that the GDP goes off, that the government goes off of, this is where we would have always been.
right.
And that's why I say that, it's still a smart time to buy real estate.
Right. Okay. So how do you ease the process for first time home buyers?
Systems, people, and tools. So I tell people, not just me. I'm the person that you talk to most of the time, and that there is a team behind me that helps the entire process. From whether you're just getting started, and we have a lot of business owners that we work with. So sometimes they're in a place where they're getting their books together or getting their taxes together. We have those established relationships that we've built over the years. We have trusted lenders that are local, that have different talents and different specialties that can help you understand the home buying process and not be intimidated. And I kind of glanced out over this, but Black women in real estate in 2010, it wasn't as popular as now, right? We didn't have as much as the visibility. As a Black lesbian woman, I was like, I'm tired of pretending like I'm getting homes with my friend, right? And it's important for me to create a space that my community, however people want to choose to connect and identify, I want them to know, like, you don't have to pretend to be anything else when you're working with me. If that's your wife, that's your wife. If that's, what I'm saying, if you're Black, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're a student, if you got back, that's fine. It was a no judgment zone. But what was keeping us from that process, and I think what was making things complicated, is that you couldn't be fully transparent with what you needed and the help that you needed. and not feel like you were going to be judged or taken advantage of
Right.
because of who you were. And so, number one, we understand. We need to understand. And then number two, we surround you with the tools. So I always say we're a one-stop shop. When you join us, when you work with us, we have every resource that you could possibly think of. Whatever challenge comes along the way, I got a guy for that. You know, that's being in this industry and being respected in this industry. You know, we don't have enemies in real estate. It didn't turn out like the television I thought it was, right? And that's important too.
Right.
Negotiating on your behalf that is well respected, and so that way you know that it's all about being protected. You know, I think people at the end of the day just want to know, like, I people say, I tell my clients, I'm not attached to your address, but I will fight for your money like it's mine. You know, I think even with you guys, I was like, look, this is what I think, this is what I can do, this is what I think we can do, you know, because it's about making sure that you just walk away feeling like you won in the transaction. And that's really what we can do.
So I don't think that, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're the expert here. I don't think people understand how detrimental credit is. And a lot of times, you know, some people are cash heavy. Sometimes they're not cash heavy, but they have a great credit score. They have a great credit score and they are not cash heavy, or, you know, vice versa, whatever the case may be. People ask me all the time, what should my credit score be to purchase a home? How much money should I have in reserve? Should I have any money in reserve? Things of that nature. And I've purchased several homes in my lifetime, thank God, because it's, you know, again, it's African Americans' birthright to own land as well. So it's very important that that we prepare. What can you say to the audience about what they should do with their credit, and you know, what should they do with money to be prepared to purchase a home? What would you say?
I love that question. So I listen. I got a million stories. So when I bought my home, I did not have credit. Okay, I bought my home. I was 35 when I bought it. I didn't have credit because I couldn't get credit, because I went to college and they gave me credit and I ran that sucker up. So by the time I got over the whole situation, I was very cash heavy. Like I said, I was a bartender. I was, you know, I just had cash. I couldn't get a credit card. So, and I was so kind of paralyzed by about debt. I was like, I don't want debt. I don't want bills. If I don't have cash, I won't get it. So then when I got ready to buy home, lender was like, you don't have a file. It's great that you have money, but you don't have any kind of history to let someone know how you are with money. So the first thing that I had to do, because again, remember, I wasn't getting American Express was not sending me letters. Okay. Yeah. So I had to get a secured card. And I tell people, like, if number one, you feel like you have bad credit, or if you don't have any credit, which is the same thing as bad credit. No credit is bad credit. Let's establish that. Go to your bank, get a secured card. A secured card is basically you giving money to the bank. You give the bank $1,000, or you give the bank $500, and then you borrow against that, and you start to establish a positive trade line. And you use it for small things like gas, groceries, right? You don't max it out, because again, remember, you're establishing a positive history. When people ask, oh, what should my score be? You get 3 credit reports, right? Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those are the 3 scores. The lender is going to look at your middle score. And most lenders are going to want that middle score to be a 640 or above. So that's what I teach our clients. Now, some people say, well, I know somebody that can do it. They had a 580. Absolutely. Every lender is different. This is all about highest and best. And just remember, the lower your credit score is, the higher your risk will be. But while you might be able to get approved by a 580, you may have a higher interest rate than the next person that you knew. And interest rates go into your mortgage payment. And so that's part of the education that I think is important, is that if you're taking notes and you're like, where should I begin? Get the credit score up to a 640. Get a monitoring service so you can always look at all three scores, and then that middle score, let's make it a 640 above. And then you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about credit, right? That's not the thing.
Absolutely. That's a great answer, because I think most people they feel like, well, my credit is a bust, so I can't purchase a home. So I think that's good tools to go by to get a secure credit card, worst case scenario. And another thing too, people, when you get these credit cards, do not max them out.
Yes.
Only use a third of the credit and pay it down. Do not use 100% of that credit card and get that credit card maxed out, and then you turn around and you pay the minimum payment. That's not going to take your credit score. But yeah, I think Chase gave good information on that. Do you have any other questions with it?
Yeah. So for the business owners, because we're trying to lean more towards helping entrepreneurs and business owners. How can real estate help the business owner?
So with a business loan, the difference is all in your taxes. For business owners, like, we got to pay our taxes. And this is why I say, over time, you really start to realize the difference between having a business and having a hustle. And so as a business owner, meaning that I'm going to buy my house with the money that my business made, you get 1099. So instead of a W-2, you get a 1099. So a lender is going to require 2 years of 1099s. Most lenders, unless you have a special case, that's the standard. And they're going to need 2 years of tax returns, and they're going to take the average of what you said you made. And the reason why I say this is because, especially I think during tax season, you see a lot of people and they're bragging about the type of funds they got for clients, which means that they probably took a lot of deductions. And as my mom tells me, if you tell the IRS you didn't make any money, then that also means you just told the lender you didn't make any money.
That's
Right.
You can't say, because you don't want to pay taxes, I didn't make no money. We had a loss. Look at all these losses and expenses. I only made $1,000. But then it's time to buy a house and you're like, I got all this money. My mom tells me all the time, all of the systems are connected.
Yes.
You are not paying anything over anybody. So for business owners, keep in mind that you will need 2 years. So especially if you've left your job, and that's great. If you're thinking about quitting your job, just know once you're self-employed, you have to have 2 years of tax returns. They're going to take the average of those 2 years, and they're all going to look at for your profit and loss statement. They want to make sure that you're profitable and the money is consistent. Remember, it all goes back to seeing, are you a worthy person to lend money to? Can you pay us back?
Absolutely. Yep. So basically, if you want to buy a house and you're a business owner, you need to be paying taxes, basically.
Yes.
Straight up. If you made all this money and you want to buy $1 million house, you need to have paid taxes on probably $250,000 a year, or whatever the case may be. But again, there's a magic number for it all, but there's the information, guys. I mean, you can't go to the IRS and say I lost money and then turn around and say I want to purchase a house, because the lender's going to tell you no. So
Understatement.
right. So any other questions for you? So Chase, is there anything you want to add to the conversation, or let the followers know about real estate right now?
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I mean, it's a smart time to buy, and I'm always going to say that. I'm going to be honest with you. If you ask me next year, I'm going to say it's a smart time to buy, because it's never a wrong time to make a smart investment, right? That's what we do. The easiest, I tell people, I was like, the United States is one of the few countries that you can buy an asset without having all of the money. For most buyers, you can buy with 3.5% down. You can own a $300,000 asset for 3.5% down. And will start you to be able to build wealth without having to work with it. The real estate market does it on its own. You talk about passive income. There are people that have bought 2, 3, 5 years ago that are sitting in acres of diamonds because they did one smart thing, and that was to buy a house. Start where you are. I think a lot of times we get caught up in not buying a home because we can't buy that home, right? And when I talk to my mentors, I talk to people and they have over 600 investment properties, planes and boats. And I ask them, how did you get started? One of my mentors, he said trailer parks. Because it's not buy it, right? At the end of the day, it's an asset. So it doesn't matter if it's $100,000 townhome or condo or $250,000 new construction or $2 million luxury home. Start where you are, because that small investment is going to give you the momentum to double up, level up for that next investment. Don't get so caught up in the end game, in the dream home, that you miss all of the magic in the middle that will help you get there easier. And talk to somebody that specializes. Facebook, internet's loud. Everybody has an opinion. And when I read comments, most of the people, they're not speaking from perspective. How can you ask someone that doesn't own about ownership?
Correct. 100%.
I get that the conversation may be comfortable and you don't want to feel intimidated. Yet get intimidated. Get around people that own 20 homes. Ask them if they think it was a smart decision to buy. Ask people that bought homes in the 80s, that went through the 80s recession and have gone through the 2000s recession. I guarantee you they're still putting their money in real estate because it's tried and true. Today. So always, it's seek wise people, not just counsel. Seek wise counsel. Find people that are doing what you want to do. I say, if you want to learn how to make $2 million, find somebody that's already done. When you make $1 million, find somebody that's made $2 million.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think we're.
Well, what we are going to do is we're going to let Chase go.
Yes.
And I think that was great information, Chase.
Absolutely.
I think that you should come back.
Now y'all see why she won.
Yeah. And not to mention that the Chasing Real Estate Group is a great entity to go with. You guys want to purchase a home here in Texas, Chase is a great choice to come to. Chase, can you give everyone a way of contacting you if needed?
Absolutely. So I am Chase Sloan. You can find me on the Chasing Real Estate Group on my Instagram page or my personal Instagram, Chase_Sloan. And our phone number is 713-446-0291. I always say the easiest thing to do is go to our Instagram page, click the link in our bio. You have a million ways to connect with us. We're here and we're available. Our DMs are open. Slide in them. Take off your tool. I promise you, we're only here to help you get to your next level. I share our personal mission is to create spaces that build wealth. And so we're here for you. You don't have to be perfect. I wasn't perfect when I started this business. You don't have to be perfect to buy a home. We're just here to help.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Chase, for joining us.
Thank you.
I look forward to having you come back in the future. And we will definitely be in touch with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys, and have a great night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
U.S. ports are backlogged, and 80,000 truck drivers are needed to help fix the supply chain. The demand is real. And with fewer truckers and drivers to pick up cargo, now is the time to get in with the earning potential of $120,000 a year.
Learn how to start your own trucking company with the Theurgy Training Institute. As a 3PL company with over 25 years of experience in warehousing, ground transportation services, air logistics, and import-exports. Join our mentorship program for $9.97.
We're here to teach you how to properly structure and operate your own trucking company so you can come manifest the lifestyle you've always wanted. You will learn the difference between a broker and a carrier, licensing, and how to find your niche. We will teach you how to set up and run your trucking company as a business and not a side hustle. Only 10 slots available. Visit us at the link below.
We are Theurgy, and we are here for you for the long haul.